In this video, we're going to be installing the Kwikset 955 Smart Code keypad lock. This is not a deadbolt keypad lock. This is a secure passage lock, and we're going to replace the old one that we have here with this Kwikset 955. I'm just going to take you through it. It's very simple to do. The first thing we're going to do is obviously remove what we have here. Remove this old handle by removing the screws. It's about 4 screws. We're going to be using the same holes that we have here. So again, this is a secure passage lock. This is not a deadbolt, so all we need is one hole like you see here. After we remove the old lock, we're going to use the same hole that you have here for the new lock. Note that there is a cable here that needs to be plugged into the interior of the lock, so the assembly here has to be plugged in together with that cable. Do not forget to plug that cable in, or else you're going to have to do this whole thing again. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and install the latch, and the latch just goes in the hole that's already there. And the important thing with the latch is you want to make sure that the latch is nice and level. That's very important. This part is very straightforward. All you have to do is screw in the screws to hold the latch in place. These are the screws that come with the lock, and again, 2 screws here, very easy to do. Just make sure that the latch is indeed working, it goes in and out, and it's leveled. The next most important thing here is you want to make sure that this spindle is in there the right way. It's important that the spindle's round edge is facing the latch. So very important that you have the spindle exactly like I have here. You can see that round part, and that round part is facing the latch. So you want to make sure it's just like that. And the spindle is going to be connecting the exterior side of the lock to the interior side. So again, make sure that the spindle is installed correctly. Here you can see how I have the round edge of the spindle facing towards the latch. Very important, and that spindle is going to connect both parts of the lock, the exterior and the interior. Again, very important here, make sure you plug in this lock. If you don't plug it in and you put all the screws, guess what? You're going to have to do it again. So it's extremely important that you plug it in, plug that ribbon cable in there, and then go ahead and feed both parts through the spindle. Again, make sure the spindle is facing the right way, and then you're going to feed both assemblies, or the exterior and the interior part of the lock. You're going to feed it through the spindle. This spindle is what's going to make the levers work on this lock, so it's crucial that it's installed correctly. Again, just go ahead and feed both parts of the lock through. Make sure they're connected with the spindle, and then once it's in there, you're going to go ahead and install basically 2 screws that hold the exterior and the interior parts together. And at first, I'm just using my hands to get those screws in there and make sure that they are through to the other side. Once they are, I'm going to go ahead and just use a drill to make this process a little bit easier and faster. But before you go ahead and tighten all these screws, you want to make sure that the lock is actually leveled. So I'm just using a little level to make sure that it's straight. And once it is, I'm using the drill gun to just go ahead and gently tighten the screws. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and put the battery. You're going to hear a beep, meaning that the battery is on there. So far, very simple to do. You just want to make sure that you carefully follow these steps, and you're going to be okay. Once we have the battery in there, here comes the tricky part, and it's to install the levers itself. So this is what I had a little trouble with at first, and it's important that you pay attention to this part because it is, for me at least, the most difficult part of installing the lock. So you want to go ahead and put the levers on there, and once you put the levers on there, they're going to be held together with this set screw that you see here. But in order to get access to the set screw, it's a little tricky. On the exterior lever, you got to go ahead and put the key in there and turn it horizontal. Once you have the key in there horizontally, you're actually going to turn the key vertically, and once the key is vertical, you're going to go ahead and push the lever in, and you'll hear it snap in. Now at this point, the lever is in all the way. But guess what? You're going to have to turn the key again to the horizontal position in order to get to the set screw. If I leave the key the way it is vertically, I cannot get to the set screw. So you have to go ahead and turn it like I just did horizontally in order to get to the set screw. So it's a little tricky on how you do this. You want to go ahead and put the key in. The key is going to be horizontal. You're going to go ahead and push the lever in. You're going to go ahead and turn the key vertically. And then once it's in there, the lever is in there, you turn the key again horizontal, and then you tighten the set screw. So it is a little bit tricky on the exterior handle in order to get that working. And again, you can see here that if I have the key vertically, I can't get to it. So once the handle is in there, I have to turn the key horizontal in order to get to the set screw, and then turn the set screw, which is going to tighten that lever, and it's going to allow the lever to stay put. So this part is a little tricky. That's what took me the longest to figure it out, but make sure that if you need to go ahead and replay the video, you do so. But once you have this lever in there, the external one, you're good. The internal lever is very easy to do. There is a set screw on there, which actually this set screw is already in there. I just wanted to remove it and show you what it looks like. But with this lever, you just push it in and you tighten the screw. You tighten the set screw and you're good to go. So the internal lever is really not a problem. All you have to do is this set screw that's here, you're going to go ahead and turn it to the left to tighten it. And once you do that, it's going to stay in place. It's more so the external lever that's a problem, and you have to follow those steps that I just showed you. And if you need to go back, go ahead, like I said, rewind the video. At this point, we have both levers installed. We have the battery in, and I'm just testing it to make sure that the latch is working, and it is. I'm going to go ahead and put the cover on there to cover that battery. And once the cover is in place, there's really not much left to do except test it and then set your codes. One other important thing is you want to leave this turn piece upwards, facing up, and that's the auto lock feature. So when you close the door after I think 60 seconds or whatever it is, it actually locks it from the outside. You can see that you can turn the handle from the outside and the latch won't open unless you have the code. If you go ahead and flip that turn piece to the right like I just did, then you can go ahead and open the door from the outside without actually putting the code. So you want to leave that turn piece facing upwards, and that's going to go ahead and set it to auto lock, and you're going to need the keypad code in order to unlock and get in. So at this point, the only thing left is to set the codes, the user codes, and I'm going to leave a screenshot of how to do that. You can go ahead and pause the video. It's going to show you the default code and what you need to do. And that's it. Don't forget that I have the product link in the description if you want to buy this lock. And as always, if this video has been informative and helpful, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.